Hello, welcome to video 2 of my mini lessons. This mini lesson will focus on modulations, specifically the pivot chord modulation, and also it is known as the common chord modulation. Modulation is, in any given song, is a tonicization of any chord that it goes to, and it lasts for some extended period. They are usually temporary, that is, and when you have a modulation, usually it starts in like the key of C, and then it'll go to, let's say, the 5 chord, the key of G, and then at some point the song goes back to C. So in every key, any key has 5 closely related keys. So you have, let's go D major. From D major, the 5 closely related keys are the dominant, subdominant, relative of dominant, and the relative of subdominant. So each key, no matter what key, major, minor, always has those same common closely related keys. You can find them and they are represented by the dominant, subdominant, relative minor of the tonic, relative minor of the dominant, and the subdominant. So as I said in the beginning of this, there are several different ways you can modulate. One of the ones that is most often used is a pivot chord modulation, aka more commonly known as a common chord modulation. So to figure it out, we can list all the chords in the key, all the chords, in a given key. So let's take this key of C and let's go to the key of, like I said, G. So you have your 1, your 2, 3, so on, so forth. So what I have written out on here is you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chords, all chords in a given key. So now the possible pivot chords, the triads, you have any of these. So you just look for ones that are the same. So the 1, 2, the 6 chord in C is also the same as the 2 chord in G major. Note these are both major keys. If I didn't state that before, I do apologize. Also, the 5th chord and the 1 chord are also possible pivot chords. We also have the 1 chord in C major is also the same as the 4 chord in G major. And the 3 chord in C major is also the same as the 6th chord in G major. And then obviously these chords, the 3 chord and the leading tone chord are not the same. The 2 chord and the 5 chord, not the same. This one is close, but it is not F sharp. So these circle chords, the 1, 3, 5, 6 chords in C major, and the 1, 2, 4, 6 chords in G major are possible pivot chords that you can use to modulate to different keys. It is more typical to use the major dominant and diminished leading tone chords to pivot between any given chord, like minor chords, or minor keys. So from C major to E major, it's more typical to use the major dominant and diminished leading tone chords when you write them out. So it's very easy to use. So let's try another key. Let's go to the key of let's see, what's my favorite key for any tubist? B flat major. Obviously, because of the simple key signature. So we will go to B flat major, and we will go to the relative minor G minor, and we will find the possible pivot chords between those. So you have, in this, you have B flat, D, F, then G, C, G, B flat. I do apologize for this taking so long. My fingers can only move so fast. Then G, B flat, D. That is a D. It did cut off. I do apologize. And then I also apologize for that mistake. Okay. So you have your one chord. This is a minor key. I do apologize. I also have mislabeled. I apologize for all the mistakes. So we'll go the major chords first. We have 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, and then your leading tone diminished chord. So you have your minor 1, your 2 diminished, your major 3, minor 4, major 5, major 6, and of course a major 7. So now we just have to find the chords that match up again, like the last example. Right away, I'm looking the one chord of B flat major and the major 3 in G minor match. So that would be another kind of common tone pivot chord modulation. So you also have right away again the minor 2 and the minor 4, the major 6th and the major 4th, the leading tone and the major 5th, and then these are also the same, but we will come back to these. Basically, there are a lot of chords that are the same, except that one and this one. So all the circled ones, once again, are the common chord possibilities, the possible pivot chords you can use to modulate between B flat and G minor, B flat major and G minor. They are also used in many examples, and some of them are obvious, some of them are not obvious. It's a very common, it's very easy. You just switch back and forth. You can start out, we'll go with the key of C, because key of C is also everybody's favorite key when music theory comes around. So you have the key of C, and then maybe the key of G, and then the key of C. So you could start it with a 1 chord, and at some point go to this, make this the dominant chord, or the dominant key for a little bit. So it goes from here, modulate, I can't spell either. Modulate. And then it would modulate back to C. So this would be at the beginning, the middle, and towards the end it would go back. It's very easy to go to and from, and it's very, yes, possible pivot chords. So hopefully from this, you have learned how to find possible pivot chords and the chords you can use to do a diatonic pivot chord modulation, aka also known as a common chord modulation. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much.